all heard the saying, knowledge is power. And what better to be knowledgeable about than your health? So, where should you turn for news and information about doctors who can help you live a happier, healthier life? Turn to us for real stories about real doctors helping real people. People like you.
Welcome to our show, your source for news and information on some of the most exciting advancements in medical technology and the caring doctors you can turn to for help. Dr. Gino Tutera is an internationally recognized expert in the field of hormone replacement and the doctor behind the science of SottoPelle, a method for hormone replacement that uses natural, bioidentical hormone pellets. Over the next half hour, we will learn why so many women and men turn to SottoPelle to help overcome a myriad of symptoms associated with hormonal imbalance. Here's more.
What does common sense tell you? Does common sense tell you that something synthetically produced or something that comes from another type of animal like a horse that makes 17 different types of hormone that are foreign to the human body, would it be better to use those, or would it be better to use the same identical hormone that your body once produced? Because the key part of our therapy is not only to give you that hormone, but make sure that that hormone, if your body is also supplied in the proper ratio, in the proper dosage, and in the proper delivery system. Biologically identical means that you have to satisfy all four of those parameters. And we use a biologically identical technique that is second to none. No one gets close to what we do, because if your body makes a hormone shaped like my hand, you're going to get the same exact hormone. We strictly, stick to the idea that we have to reproduce the human ratio of hormones. If you don't have that strict ratio, then you can't get the same physiologic benefit, nor can you get the same safety profile. And that's where everyone else, lacks, that type of, parameter. They all can, they might be able to mix up a hormone, but they never put it in the proper ratio. And no one individualizes the dose, because everybody, the way we're trained, everybody gets the same dose, no matter if you're 6'7" or 5'2". Lastly, there is no other delivery system that can uniquely supply hormone the way the human body is accustomed to receiving it. Continually, proper amount at the right time, and having an internal control that can give you more or less depending on what you need. Going through the development of the SottoPelle therapy probably started back in 1979, when at that time it just became glaringly clear to me that I had an epiphany saying, we're doing things that make no common sense. We're giving people hormone. We're not measuring hormone levels to find out why what the deficiency is. We're just pushing pills at people and telling them to call us if it isn't working, or call us if it seems like it's too much or not enough. And we don't do anything to measure or quantify how much hormone is necessary. And so it made no sense, in my clinical judgment, to continue, processing hormone therapy in that manner. And so I began on a search and found that there are differences. There's differences in the type of hormone that you can utilize. No one ever teaches us how to dose according to blood levels and laboratory values. And it became very clear to me that that was a path I had to take. And so I started, using biologically identical hormone, back in 1979. It only made common sense to me to utilize the same identical hormone that the human body makes. So if the body makes a hormone shaped like my hand, by God, give it back the same structure and it will flourish. You give it something that's foreign, it has to process it, and it usually, falls far short of what, the safety profile that the human body would usually create with its own hormone. It became even more evident to me that as I went through that there was a piece missing. I knew there was a piece missing, I just didn't know where it was. what I needed was to mix the ideas with the parameters that I had always used, which is make sure you know what the deficiency is, how severe it is, and meld those together. And that's what, that's what led me to develop, the SottoPelle therapy, is being able to once again utilize a therapy that I knew to be safe and to be effective, and do it in a very clinically appropriate manner. I need objective evidence to know that I haven't just got rid of a symptom, because symptoms are only 10% of the problem. The other part of that iceberg sits there and waits and will sink your ship in no time flat. You have to be able to take care of that unseen part of the problem, which is physiologic deficit. And if you don't correct the deficit, you don't get better. You may think you're getting better because your symptoms are less, but you really haven't done much to protect your heart, protect your brain, protect your musculoskeletal system, and keep you metabolically normal. You can't give everybody the same dose, because if you think that, then you're basically postulating that everybody wears a size 8 shoe. And we all have blonde hair and blue eyes, and we all came from the same genetic code. That makes no common sense whatsoever. And then lastly, you better have a delivery system that ensures that you're going to get the hormone in an identical manner, which is one that gives you the right hormone in the right dosage, in the right delivery system. And that delivery system has to be able to give you continual hormone secretion, make sure that your body gets the right amount at the right time, and that the hormone system is controlled from within. Your body should control the hormone release, not be controlled by the hormone. So therefore, the only thing the only modality that can do that are using the pellets. And that's why we use pellets of SottoPelle, because it helps us recreate a normal physiologic interior. It helps us recreate that wellness, recreate that quality of life that you once had, and be able to start increasing the ability to increase your longevity through the recreation of a normal physiology. And that's what our basis for our therapy is to recreate normality. And unfortunately, the other forms of delivering hormones, pills, creams, gels, drops, oils, may get rid of a symptom, but because they're not there all the time, it can't make you normal. In our therapy, I'm just very firm on the way that we treat people, and it's in a very specific manner. We don't proceed with therapy unless we fully understand that patient will benefit from what we do. We also explain to the patient that there's good scientific evidence in literature that what we do has a very definite safety profile, in such that it does not increase the development of cancer of the breast or cancer of the prostate. We make sure that we do things in a clinically objective manner. We evaluate the patient not only in a consultation, but also with laboratory work to ensure that what we're doing is appropriate for that individual, and that they will then have a very reasonable expectation of improvement. Then, after treatment, we recheck them to see if, in fact, we have clinically and objectively and subjectively improved that patient's well-being and quality of life. What makes pellets so much better than the other forms, such as pills and creams and patches, shots? Well, the difference is that the pellets are the only thing that recreate what a normal functioning endocrine organ does. And a normal endocrine organ gives you hormone all the time. It gives you the right amount at the right time. Pellets are the only form of therapy that can be controlled from within the body itself. And that control is generated by the action of the heart. So if you think of this as being a pellet, think of it as being a piece of hard candy. When we place that pellet underneath the skin, it develops a network of blood vessels that surround it. Then as your heart pumps blood across this, your body becomes like a child licking on that candy. If you're exercising, that kid is licking furiously on that piece of candy. And if you're sleeping or meditating or praying and your heart rate is much slower, then you're going to get less hormone. Because our bodies produce higher amounts of hormone during stressful times and lesser amounts of hormone during times when we're quiet and or dormant. So therefore, this is the only form of therapy that allows your body to give you the right amount of hormone at the right time. You're going to have continual secretion. Well, when you use pills and creams and gels, you have no control over those. Because as soon as you take it, smear it on, stick it to you, get injected with it, or use some other, suppository form or something, at that point, the pharmaceutical company or the pharmacy that made up that product is in control of your body. You have no control over that except for what time did I take it or put it on. That's the only control you have over any other delivery system. Whereas with the pellets, your body controls the release of the hormone through the action of your heart. And with that, it is so superior to other forms because none of them can ever claim that capability.
When Osmond mania swept the world, millions of people flocked to see the Osmonds perform in concert. Decades later, the Osmond family remains a household name, even though international tours have become fewer and farther between. After decades of struggling with hormone imbalance, Osmond Brothers lead singer Merrill Osmond, suffering with depression and diminished energy levels, almost called it quits until a chance meeting with Dr. Gino Tutera.
This is what I used to play on the Andy Williams show when I was 8 years old. Yeah. I'm not a really good piano player. As you can see, I'm a bass player. You know, whoever booked the tour, I should have been fired, but we did 50 cities in 60 days. And you remember, you do a show, a 2.5-hour show, but 2 hours before that, you got to do a rehearsal. You do a rehearsal, then you do the show, and that just winds you up like incredible. Then it takes at least 2.5 hours to wind down. You get in your bus, you travel to the next city. So you get to the next city like at maybe 6 o'clock in the morning, check into the hotel, and you get a couple hours sleep, then you go right to the theater again. You do the same thing over and over and over again. You gotta be on when you're not on a stage like that. And you gotta appeal to the person that you're singing to. So my mind's been very, very sharp lately. And I really think the whole thing has been because of SottoPelle. The last few years, I have been diagnosed supposedly by individuals that saying I'm having all of these Alzheimer concepts. I'm losing my brain and my mind and stuff like that because I can't remember my words on stage.
Merrill didn't really have any, mental issues or, memory loss or something that would be a herald for the onset of dementia or Alzheimer's. What Merrill has is what a lot of us, have had, and myself included. When our testosterone is really low, the parietal and temporal lobes of your brain aren't being stimulated. And if they're not being stimulated continuously, your ability to focus, to concentrate, to have good short-term memory, to have a good long-term memory, to be able to multitask and problem solve are taken away from you. So without testosterone, the functionality of your brain really suffers. So it's no wonder that, maybe he wasn't as sharp and remembering, as many songs as he did in the past, but now he sure is, because now his brain is being continually stimulated by the presence of an ongoing release and secretion of testosterone from the pellets.
Lately, like this last tour, I was absolutely sharper than a pistol because I was able to think very clearly. I was calling the shots on stage. There's a transformation going on inside me that is really, really cool. I'm liking it. Without SottoPelle, I know absolutely I would have never been able to hold on. I won't mention who in my brotherhood, had problems, but I was definitely the one that was out front, kicking, that was alert, singing the lead solos, the one that wasn't missing the lyrics. I can definitely say it was because of SottoPelle that I was able to endure that tour.
At a recent Osmond Brothers concert, Merrill wasn't the only one bringing down the house. Dr. Tutera received a standing ovation as Merrill credited his comeback to the wonders of SottoPelle and Dr. Tutera.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Tutera, let's hear it for him. The man, ladies and gentlemen.
I will stand by you forever. You can't take my breath away.
Oh yeah! This is what life can feel like after non-surgical varicose vein treatment. Do you suffer from vein disease? Are painful varicose veins ruining your quality of life? At the office of Dr. Herman Pang, we treat varicose veins with no surgery, no downtime, and best of all, no regrets. Call our office today. Most insurance accepted.
Welcome back. You don't have to be a world-recognized singer to experience the benefits of natural HRT. While many who have undergone the treatment believe the results have been nothing short of a miracle, the science behind the SottoPelle method is what's making a difference, one patient at a time.
Merrill is feeling so much better because of the fact that when he was trying to perform and had a really low testosterone, capability for him to be able to go that extra mile was basically lost to him. And by the usage of testosterone in pellet form, he gets that steady, constant, production and release of testosterone. When he's performing and doing a lot of vigorous activity on stage, he's getting more hormone because the fact that the pellets allow his body to control the release of the hormone so that he's capable of increasing, his release of hormone from the pellets as the need for it increases, so that when he needs to be performing on stage and doing a lot of physical activity and being at the top of his game, the amount of testosterone that's being released from the pellets is markedly increased. Likewise, when he, like after the show or in a downtime, the amount of hormone being released is markedly lessened. By being able to have that extra testosterone on demand,